some type of printout of like the qualifications for the,
I mean, you couldn't put a new person in there and expect them to know what's going on, unless you want the same issues that you had 7 years ago.
Which is why you recommended the person you did.
Yeah.
Because they've been working.
Yeah, and if nothing else, I mean, if you don't like the way he's working out, at least somebody can learn off of him. You need institutional memory in most any business if you want to have any continuity.
Right.
And the biggest problem you have with no continuity there is you're gonna end up making burials in the wrong place and you're gonna end up getting sued.
Well, the sad part about it is we haven't had paperwork in place. I mean, even if we didn't have the memory that you speak of, but we had paperwork and stuff in order. Somebody could kind of go in and see, okay, this is how it's been, this is what needs to be tweaked, we don't need to do this no more. We don't even have that, so that's pretty bad.
so who did he recommend?
George, that's already.
Yeah, George Rose, I mean,
Okay.
he's used to
I
using
remember
our
that.
program. I mean, and even that, I mean, the program, I'm gonna print it out and you'll get printouts, that's about it.
Was that a recommendation, like, to actually be, like, in your position? Like, he knows enough to actually,
What's gonna probably happen if he doesn't know, he'll call me.
here, I was gonna say, he's someone that would call you.
I mean, he knows enough to know where the problems are.
Okay.
I mean, we just had one today. Well, the family wanted to make a cremation burial on a space. And there was, the grandmother was buried there, I don't know when, but there was no paperwork and set aside to give us permission to make a burial in that space because the lot owner was deceased. And then in order to CYA, you have to have all of the next of kin sign off
Right.
because they wanted to use it for a grandchild. Now, I'm sure nobody's ever run into this, but families every once in a while feud.
Oh, definitely.
And you ain't putting it there.
Right.
So unless you have everybody on board, we just don't do it.
Especially if they know their rights. Now,
I
that's a
thank
lawsuit.
God for being the only child on one hand,
Right.
but it's sad on the other hand
Right.
when it comes to taking care of my mama. It's just me. But I thank God for being the only child.
Well, I mean, I wasn't, but not being the only child, my mother designated who she wanted to take care of business. And she let everybody know, so you couldn't come after the fact, now that she's deceased, starting a war, because that's what happened. So it's just about putting your stuff in order.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the direction that the city's gonna take post city manager.
So, I mean, like today, George knew enough to call me
Mhm.
and, hey, what can we do? And I mean, I just told him what we could do and couldn't do.
Right.
Whereas, once again, I'm not just telling you guys not to call me at all or whatever. I mean, I'll help out as best I can, but I'm not gonna leave dollars there at the cemetery that I own just to help run the cemetery. If somebody wants to buy the equipment, I'm more than happy to leave it there, but equipment that I bought and programs that I bought and fire files that I bought and copy machines that I bought and everything else, I'm taking that with.
Right.
So, but there's been, as far as I know, there's been no offers to me as far as what anybody wants to pay for the equipment.
Wow.
So I have really nothing to even quote negotiate. And we've only got 4 weeks left.
So you do not have like, just say if
Mhm.
I decided, okay, I wanted to purchase the equipment, do you have anything, you don't have anything laid out just in case, someone,
I know what I want for it, yeah.
okay, all right.
I mean, just even if there were no fire files in the office So if the office would have burned, everything just burns up with it. All of the records that we have created since I took over, I bought fire files for. Those are $2,000 a piece. The stuff in those fire files is gonna go into a cardboard box and put on the floor. And I'm taking the fire file.
Well, I think it would be really nice if we had a list, even whether we acted on it or not. Because, I mean, even if we keep George, we don't have nothing.
You ask them what you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, he should have a list. It would be nice if we had a list of all the stuff that you had to run the cemetery. And if the purchase agreement came about, this is how you would look for what you're leaving. We need to see that period to say yay or nay.
In the office, it's basically $10,000.
Okay.
That's none of the burial equipment, that's none of the,
So how difficult would it be for you to create a list?
the grounds. I know what I want for the grounds. You're gonna be somewhere, for $60,000 to $70,000.
Okay, so we're talking 80.
80 to 100, somewhere in there, yeah.
Okay.
Is it just when you go to graveside, you just have the rollers that, those things are $4,000 a piece.
Right.
So just little things like that add up. I mean, we got the plow and the pickup truck that are $15,000, $18,000 with the snow plow on it.
All the mowing equipment.
There's one piece of mowing equipment I'm gonna take with me, and that's the Batwing. That's the big one. Those brand new are like $65,000, $70,000. The cemetery doesn't need that.
Right, but there is something out there to cut. If you take your bat wing, is there?
Yeah, there's 2 other mowers that you guys could do, and that'd probably be about $15,000 for those.
Yeah.
No, I think was your question is, once you have taken everything that
What is
you,
out there that
what is
belongs to
left?
the cemetery?
Right, is there anything?
No.
I think that was the question.
No, there's nothing there's nothing there left, because
Wow.
I bought the furnishings and the equipment. And I paid for all that.
So the only thing that we're gonna have out there left is the person that was out there working with you.
Correct, and anything, you got a furnace, I mean, everything that was attached to the building, I mean,
Right.
the telephones go with me, not the phone system, but the telephones.
And you were there for 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years last October, so, I mean, that's, I just thought there'd be a little more movement in this before this time, but it is what it is, and we'll deal with it.
Well, and I think half of it is just, the city is just so much, when you got so much to deal with, not that we're putting this on the back burner, but it's just so many fires at the same time
Mhm.
that need to be extinguished, so. Yours just happened to come up quicker than some of the others.
I'll let this be known last October.
I know, still other fires, even when you said last October.
Mhm.
Hopefully we can.
So February 20th.
Well, the burials are gonna get made. It's just, unless you're gonna need to find somebody that's gonna care for the cemetery.
Right.
So, well, let's put it this way, the burials will be made as long as the city will
Hey,
pay me to do it. And what we were looking at is just 50% of the burial fees and the vault installation fees. At least that's what I offer to another person. But when that occurs, the family's gonna need to pay the city, and then the city's gonna need to pay me, because I don't want any legal liability of wrong space or anything like that.
we're gonna hope that
25th.
the 25th will be, and we'll hope that our city manager will maybe,
We'll make it work for the families. I mean, if we have burials, it'll get done, because family has to pay the city, and then the city, there's money there to pay me to make sure it gets done. So to me, there's no reason why the burials are gonna be an issue. It's gonna be care of the
The care
cemetery
of,
come Memorial Day.
And that is a doozy.
Yes,
but I think the idea
The
that,
friends
Mrs. Burton had,
The friends
with the friends and family coming in.
so once again, the issue with that is having enough equipment for them.
very much so.
I've been, and I don't know, I could be out of line, but I've been asking people that like cannot come out and actually give, volunteer their time, especially older people.
Mhm.
Like if they have anything that we could possibly use, and, we would make sure that, we would. So I've had some people that, and some of the Dollar Ride board members said that they would come and help.
And even the reality with the Gordon, is the crew that does, I mean, they bring their own weed whackers and stuff.
Good.
So, that's how they do it. So if anything goes wrong, it's what they use in their own homes. They just choose an area on a particular date and everybody goes for what they know.
Mhm.
So.
So hopefully, Mr.
It's
Mitchell.
just the unknown that makes it fun.
Right.
Right. All I know is we sold
Exactly.
it. So I don't know that we have
What's
anything,
that?
any equipment for the cemetery. I don't think we have any. So, we're gonna shoot for the 25th again.
I'll be here.
Sorry, Bert. But yeah. No, we're agreement.
Oh,
You didn't, you know what? I'll send you a management agreement so you can just see how it was.
okay.
I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Regular council. So, yeah, I mean, as a legislator, I just say just, we can just disclose, I don't know how you down as far as issues, just let them know. I don't know.
It is what it is.
But they're acting like, I have no idea.
You don't have to if someone's gonna buy my contract.
I don't know.
If somebody buys the contract out, then it just has to be approved by the, almost positive it says in it, it just has to be approved by the, city.
I don't know.
But if it's just to find somebody to run it, then yeah, you're gonna have to open that up to everybody. And that ain't gonna happen in 30 days.
So, it's my day, so let them know where we are. I mean, you don't have stuff on so we're trying on 25th.
Well,
We're trying to have a forum here.
We had a meeting and that's, supposed to, we were supposed to have a meeting with him last Monday. He wasn't available. He was coming, like, somehow or another, because I couldn't be here in the afternoon. They moved it up and then they had, what's economic development. There's a couple of those there. It's not a problem. Like I said, I'll make sure that the burial is done, but I do expect to get paid.
Oh, yeah, that's an understanding that, we'll shoot again for 25th. That's all I can do. And then, I mean. Don't go like that.
Appreciate it.
I'm trying to remember who else is on the cemetery board. Is there?
James Childs, Susan Pringle,
A Pringle, a Kyle,
Child.
Childs, oh, Reverend Childs, okay.
He just got reappointed.
He just got a point
Child,
child.
And Pringle, what was?
Audrey Pringle.
Audrey Prince, right. And so is there a
Any
vacancy?
questions?
One.
Pringle.
And, you know,
I did, she hasn't, but yeah. I had slacked up because I've been sick.
what's the maximum number we can have? And then you did what?
I text her. And,
You want me to find somebody? How much the max we can have?
5.
We have one more coming. No, we don't. We have 4.
We got a potential coming.
Okay. But it won't be before the 25th of February. Oh.
But,
I said, I'm not bailing, so I'm just not gonna have legal responsibilities out there anymore. I don't wanna hold, maintain the cemetery either. I just can't do it financially. Not to the level that I want.
alrighty, well, let's hope that,
It'll get worked out one way or another.
We'll figure it out.
hope we can figure it out.
Miss Mary,
Okay.
you coming down?
Yeah, waiting on Clark.
Okay.
Better put it in my phone or otherwise I'll forget.
Oh, yeah, I put it on my calendar too.
You said the 25th, right?
Yeah, I tried to switch from a paper calendar to my phone. I just couldn't do it.
You couldn't get it yet?
Well, no, I mean, I was doing it, but I was also putting it in the paper one anyway. 'Cause I didn't trust the phone. I don't know. I was just, I don't know. I've got another one for this year. I like the paper, I guess. And you know, you can get these at the
But
town.
you don't get any reminders. Like I was sitting doing nothing and then my phone went off. You had an appointment at 1 o'clock. And I'm like, I forgot.
You know what, I put in my phone, like, I used to take a Zumba class at 11:30 on, like, Wednesdays and Fridays. So I got a reminder at 11. So it reminds me every time. I don't do the class anymore, I need to, I need to get it off.
You didn't even erase it, you just let it remind you.
Well, I have to figure, I have, but, you know, I don't do time to erase, but.
Make you feel bad. I didn't stick with it. I really should have. I enjoyed it.
Well, you know what, I really liked the instructor. But 11:30 is just like,
In the stop, it's just,
yeah, it was at a bad time, but I liked her so much I was willing to do it, but she quit. And the new instructor, I just don't like as nearly as much, but, so I'm doing at home what the old instructor did. I found the songs and I remember the routine, so I made up my own little routine at home and I'm fine. And now I can do it when it's convenient and, so yeah, I'm still doing
that's the
it.
best part. You can do it when it's
I'm
convenient.
still doing it, but I just gotta get rid of that dumb reminder. I didn't know, Commissioner Henry, you want to get comment about cemetery?
No. Pretty much, it is what it is.
I'll put something in the paper, just letting people know that.
So I heard you say about you put a lot of stuff on your, did I hear you say cloud or database?
It's not in the cloud, it's, we have a regular cemetery program that we use, that I bought to use out there. So,
You gonna take it with you? Do you have use for it or can we?
yeah, I mean, it costs me to buy the program.
No, I'm
so
asking you,
we'll-
do you have use for it out there or can we continue to use it? We need to be animated,
Yeah. or-
We need to automate it.
Well, if the city wants to pay for it, what I paid for it, yeah.
How old is it?
The computer program, I got it when, I started there, we used it at the other 2 cemeteries.
Well, why don't you give us an inventory list of things like that I think that's a wonderful thing to share with us. We should be able to purchase that from you. And, cause that,
I mean, there's,
writing stuff down on a piece of paper and sticking it somewhere is just, I mean,
actually, at our other cemeteries, we do both. Because I don't trust a computer. The computer goes down or you somehow delete something or whatever, you're up crick. So we have hard copies and we have the computer.
and is your system different than what what Crystal Springs was using before? Well, can you leave some of that technology? We would gladly, I don't see any reason for us not to
The off-
reimburse you.
The office equipment runs about $10,000 because I bought two fire finalists to put.
Could you inventory that, excuse me? Yes. Oh,
So you said 2 fire files, you said a couple printers?
oh. Well, I'm gonna go down and ask about it in the police department. So let me see what I can get from this end.
If you just go in the office, you'll see everything.
All right, I'll call you back.
I mean, we have displays, marker displays, we have a computer program, and a computer and a display screen for the markers. We have temporary markers out there that we provide to the families that, if the city wants them to kind of lean towards.
A better system.
We've got
Right.
copy machines, we got desks, we got files.
And it's not just the computer program, it's also the computer.
Correct.
Yeah, could you possibly make us a list and when you come back on the 25th? Or even better than that, submit that to the city manager and let him know that these things that could possibly help us along the way and that you would be willing to let go.
Yeah, I don't have an issue.
That would be a big help. I mean, as far as we moving things forward.
Because the impression I got is that whoever takes over doesn't want to have to buy the burial equipment, which is the backhoe and the dumpster and the truck and the plow and the lowering devices. The lowering devices are like $4,000 a piece, and there's 2 of them out there.
Those are two that we sold you.
I believe one of them, I think was. I have another one that I've used out there because I want to have 2 so that we can handle 2 services at the same
At one time. And this person that you recommended, you just feel confident that he knows enough to get by until he can grow into it or get someone else.
George will have more. George worked with me at North Shore before we took over Crystal. And then he still continued at North Shore until about four years ago maybe. And he worked in the grounds and then he went,
Okay.
so
He knows a lot,
Yeah.
hands-on kind of stuff.
Correct.
Well, that seems like it'd be a big help if you give us a list and give him that list before the 25th. And then he can kind of make some decisions about it and give the board some recommendations. Because it sounds like they just like, okay.
I think it was a commissioner. So if you don't get it, you can say, wait a minute, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, the equipment itself, I mean, it's just the pain of moving everything out, but.
I know you can always use it, if you don't do nothing, use it for parts.
Mhm.
But if you can get some reimbursement for the money that you put into it, and we can get the things that we need to continue on,
Because I originally paid $100,000 for all the equipment.
I know,
And then you've added
And
to
I've
it.
added to
I know. I've been following you
it.
quietly.
Yeah, Commissioner Henry's on top of it.
Was I okay?
Yeah, you were okay. I know it was a problem. It was a big problem, and I knew it. You did okay, and you held out long as I thought you were gonna hold out. If we gave you some kind of assistance or if we'd have been involved in it in some kind of way where we could have understood the processes what you were going through to change us over, to stop at one place and then turn and go 180 degrees or 360 degrees, and it's not an easy task, and,
I mean, I've taken care of a lot of problems out there that didn't, nobody ever,
I already know,
I paid out of my own pocket, basically.
I already know.
Provided stuff to the
That's why I'm
families.
saying, whatever that you can, leave with us, the technology, the knowledge, whatever it is that you can leave with us would be so appreciated.
Well, even if I mean, as long as I'm alive, that phone is, you wanna use it, I'm not there to put the screws to somebody,
We made a good friend.
so,
We saw it in you.
so.
Hey, how you doing?